G'day everyone, Goober here with another Torchlight Infinite Season SS8 video. In this video, I'll be going over the Void Chart. The Void Chart is what influences your drops early on in the season, and often the trap that people get into is they think that they can just jump straight into the end game farming strategies that work for you at the end of a season, and that hamstrings them in their early mapping experience. Now, next season, Cube of Rapacity is getting buffed. It is going to have an increased processing speed, animation speed for the Cube of Rapacity, so it will be worthwhile clicking at the end of this the map versus ignoring it. You will also be able to get desire cores from the cube, which you currently cannot. It'll have an increased amount of corners of divinity that you can get, which are a multiple talent slate that benefits your character greatly. And it can also drop divinity packs, which is at the moment only through another mechanic, which costs an absolute mozza, as it requires a drop from God of Machines, Goddess of the Hunt, God of Might, and one of the other God of Mechanics. My brain's just not working right now, but you get the idea. So when you are looking at the points here, when you are doing early stage maps, you won't have any compasses. So if you want your map to have Cube of Rapacity, you will have to get the 16 nodes up here to guarantee it to be on your maps. So at least for the start of this, you will need to put all of your points into the chance for this to spawn on your map. Next up, if you want better Cube of Rapacity stuff, you will get these points over here, working all the way down to the SSR and UR rewards. Bonuses, if you want to go for the Cube of the Corner of Divinity stuff, you will head over here. This also has the Transcendence Wedge legendary node. Transcendence Wedges this season were too rare. Their drop rate has been buffed, so this node may have a lot of extra influence on your FE gain if you are selling the Transcendence Wedges. As we go over this side, we have greed attempts. If you like to gamble, you might want an extra greed attempt to go from ×2 loot to ×4 loot, or ×0 loot if it fails. And then onto here, you've got another greed attempt to go to ×8 loot. You would have to have some pretty big cojones to go for that one. Up here, we have the Desire Core drops from the Malice. This can be really good. They might not be worth a ton early on, as people might not be able to do the boss, but at the end of week 1, these nodes become extremely valuable. I guess it depends on how many Desire Cores drop from the Cube of Craving, but we'll have to wait and see how that turns out next season. And then over here, we have Desire Incarnations, which are the extra boss monsters that drop. If these drop coins in the new season, these nodes might be a lot more valuable because you'll be able to get the seasonal currency from the bosses as you are going through as well. So you have a few choices to make when you're doing Cube of Rapacity. And yeah, so that is one very, very profitable mapping mechanic to add to your maps, at least early in the season, because the wedges are required for character progression and that sort of thing. Next up, we have again another one that is very, very good early on. Is the Mistville eyes that can drop. Mistville, if you have the pet, is very profitable early on. And that means that if you are farming the eyes and selling them, you can get multiples every single map and sell them that way. Again, early on, you will need the chance for the residents to spawn in your maps, because you won't have compass slots to use. And then you want to go down and get the additional residents spawning in your maps, as well as chance for residents to be replicated. This is an easy one that you would just add all of the nodes if you wanted to farm the eyes to sell on the market. Next up, a really, really, really profitable one, that's not it, is Aeterna. Aeterna has a couple of strategies. You can do a Ruins Rush. Maybe it'll be nerfed next season. Maybe it won't be. You can sell the tiers for those that don't want to run the Aeterna city and just want to do candle smashing. They buy the tiers and do it that way, so they don't actually have to do the content. That's also another way of being able to smash candles together if you are doing the Desire Core boss. Not Desire Core, the other boss. Anyway, the Aeterna boss. Again, you will need all of the chance. Later on, when you can use compasses, you may as well use the chance as well as the compasses stack. The different types of compasses. Compasses in the next season are unique, so you won't be able to use 3 of the same compass, but you will be able to use all 3 different rarities of the compass in that way. Over here, we have the chance to upgrade the Eternal Reverberations from normal to the upgraded one. It's the difficulty and loot level of the ruins in the city. Down here we have chance for the obsession to appear, and over here we have the chance for the blade. The obsessions are the group of smaller monsters. They have a chance to drop keys. The blade is the boss monster that has a guaranteed to drop. And then there's a 3% chance for Queen's Wicks to drop. That is the key that I was talking about just before, not the Desire Cores. Alright, so we've covered Cube, Aeterna, and Mistville. Next up, if you are doing... well, it's a boss rush strategy where you would use a bitzer of a lot of things. So you can either add cube to your map to do the cube after the boss, or a popular one is to add the eyes. Now this will be restricted to how many star points you have. So if you are doing the boss rush, you want ones that benefit from more map bosses, and to get more map bosses you will need Goddess of the Hunt, and there is a chance to replicate bosses over here. So a 6% chance to replicate bosses affected from Goddess of the Hunt. A chance for Ghost to spawn, which is another version of the boss. And then you want to go through and get the points that benefit from, again, bosses. So over here in the Frozen Canvas selection, if you are guaranteeing the spawn, you can have in Netherrealm stages, bosses will drop 1 additional set of snow paper fragments. And then down here, they'll drop another set. And then there's a chance for the papers to be replicated. You need the papers to do that league mechanic. So that is another currency you will be able to sell for that. Aeterna is always really good, and if you are doing a boss rush strategy, you will choose a linear map like Demiman Village or the Filthy Forest in the Voidlands, something without too many deviations, and you'll be able to kill all of the league mechanic enemies along the way, as well as capitalize on the bosses themselves. Things to probably avoid early on is Gotta Machines. Gotta Might can be very hard early on. And Dark Surge. This is in a weird spot. So the edicts are very, very profitable to run, but the boss is very hard early on. So I don't know if this is a very good strategy early. However, week 2, this is a much better strategy, and we'll probably cover that off on another video. Compasses are great. However, early on, if you're doing time mark 6 and below, I don't think you have any compass slots at all. So this is kind of pointless. Again, later on, the God of Machines strategies, when you can use more compasses, become very, very profitable. So the God of Machines compasses become very expensive, as well as the God of Might compasses become very expensive. So this is not really a day 1 strategy, but it is a very good day 3 or 4 or 5 strategy to include compasses in your rotations. Another one that is very good, maybe day 2 or 3, or if you just want ultimate sustain of your maps, is the beacon tree. So the beacon tree, just as it probably you would have guessed, every time a beacon drops, there is a chance that an additional beacon drops, and then you can prioritize which type of beacon you want to drop up here for them becoming more likely. We'll have to wait and see which area has the best div card, fluorescent memory, that can drop, and that will be the most expensive beacon. And if you were doing a boss rush strategy, you probably want to get the cheapest one with a linear map. There is a chance for beacons to be upgraded over here, and there is a chance for beacon chests to spawn, which drop a whole bunch of beacons as well. Often, if you are going with this, you will also want to get the magic monsters over here. It's just 30% chance for 5 additional groups of magic monsters. That boosts your beacon chance at the beacon chest. And that will bring us on to the commodities constellation finally. So a lot of the things on this constellation are worth a fair bit early on. Netherrealm Resonance seems to hold its worth at about 0.1 each. So if you have a 5% chance for 40 additional Netherrealm Resonance to drop, that's 4 FE early on, which is really quite nice. And that is, bosses have a 5% chance. So if we remember from the Goddess of the Hunt multiplies bosses, so you've got a higher chance of getting 40 additional Netherrealm Resonance. So that is a good addition to your boss rush strategy. Embers early on are worth a lot, as everyone wants to craft up some gear. Flame Sand loses its worth quite rapidly. Used to be quite good. Maybe it'll come back next season, but probably not. The chest can be good. However, it is very RNG dependent and probably not very good early on. Elixir of Oblivion are worth a lot, maybe day 2 or 3, when everyone has been smashing their head against a wall with their league start builds, and then someone discovers the perfect build for that stage and everyone wants to respec. So Elixirs of Oblivion are a good one to grab early on. And what we know of the season mechanic, the gold drops from the magics and the rares and the spawns, so you want to get as many magic and rare monsters on the maps as you can. Energy cores, again, pretty good early on. So no matter what you choose on this tree, is probably going to benefit you a fair bit early on in the season. I know this was a little bit long-winded, but I wanted to cover all of the popular farming strategies on day 1, 2, and 3. No doubt I'll be putting out videos once the season goes live with more void chart strategies, and I'll be open to suggestions. You can catch me on Discord or just comment on my videos if you have a good strategy that you want me to test out and show everyone else. I am working on a website with my brother for tracking currency. However, it's not finished yet, so I won't mention the name. Anyway, that's all I've got for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.